In this video, I'm going to be covering something a little bit different. I just got back from vacation going camping with my family and friends, so I thought now would be a perfect time to talk about something us DMs don't really cover a lot: miniature storage. I'm going to be sharing my techniques to store all of my stuff, but I want to hear what your techniques are, so make sure you leave them in the comments below. I also know and recognize that there's going to be some of us who have a whole room dedicated to just D&D and have bookshelves full of terrain that we've built and our miniatures that we've painted. And if you are already one of those people, this video might not have a whole lot for you. Hopefully you still pick up a couple useful tips and tricks, but you're already living that thug life, so good on you guys. I think a lot of us, however, probably have limited space, or you're living in an apartment like me, and maybe D&D is a great love of your life, but she's not the only love of your life, and you need to find a way to store all of your miniatures, maps, and etc. So whatever your reasons are, let's get talking about mini storage. Starting off with what I store the bulk of my collection in, it's going to be these tackle boxes right here. I really like to use these because they're cheap, durable, they can be found in a couple different colors, and they hold a surprisingly large amount of minis. So let's talk about costs first. These tackle boxes can be found in a 2-pack for $10. That means each individual one is only $5, and with inflation the way it is these days, you really can't beat that kind of a price. These tackle boxes really are durable. I've owned them for close to 5 years now, maybe a little bit longer, and during that time I've moved 3 times. I've dropped them more times than I can remember, and I've knocked them against every single wall in my damn house. During all that, I only ever had one miniature break, and that's including all the pewter miniatures that I own, which isn't a lot, but I do have a few. And as you can see, they come in 2 different colors. Via the magic of mass producing, you can sometimes find the same item at different places, posing as different items. You can get this tackle box at Home Depot at the HDX brand, done up in orange, or you can find the same tackle box at Walmart, done up in red under the name Hyper Tough. I personally like to use both colors. In the orange, I like to use terrain pieces like bookshelves, chairs, and small scatter terrain. And in the red, I like to put creatures. On top of that, I use my label maker, that way I can label the exterior of them, so I can visually at a glance see what I've got inside. The last fact I want to talk about with these tackle boxes is just how many miniatures you can actually fit inside of these. I mean, you're not restricted to just small player characters. You can fit full-size carts, you can fit tents, wells, a lot of different things inside of them. Now, a lot of you out there are probably thinking that these tackle boxes can't fit miniatures of all sizes. Anything that's giant or above just simply doesn't fit inside the tackle box. And while that's definitely true, I do have a solution for those as well, although it's slightly less affordable than these guys are. And that's going to be these boxes over here to my right. These boxes are made by the brand Really Useful Boxes, and they come in all kinds of different sizes, although I favor the 33 liter ones, and I have a few 64 liters as well for those really massive pieces of terrain. In my head, I have a simple plan of making some dividers for these boxes, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. If you really want to see me do something like that, leave it down in the comments below. Another thing that I found are these boxes here. I found them at the Container Store, but I'm sure you can order them online. And what I like to do with these is I like to store all my modular terrain wall segments and different things like that in them. That covers most of my miniature collection. But another thing that I think we should talk about is battle maps and how I store those. There's 2 different things that I do when it comes to battle maps, and that really depends on the kind of battle map that you're using. If you have a neoprene or vinyl battle map, I like to store them in these large tubes. But if you've got those battle maps that are made up out of paper that are usually covered in some kind of laminate, I store them in an art portfolio like this. So these tubes here that I showed, these are just PVC piped. Now, this option's not going to save you a lot of money, but one thing I can guarantee you is that it's going to be one of the most durable options that you can find for storing your battle maps. I'm not a small guy, and I've stepped directly on them and done no damage. And lastly, I like to spray paint the tops of them with whatever color to indicate the map that I have inside. The other kind of battle map is typically made out of paper, and they'll come in a tube, and anybody who's used them before knows just how frustrating they can be because they never seem to lay flat at all. Typically they come with these plastic rails that you're supposed to put on the edges, and they really do a piss poor job of making the mat stay flat at the table. I've personally seen a lot of people use a large sheet of plexiglass or some other clear material to lay out over the top of these kinds of mats. And that really is a clever solution and a good one, but it's not the one that I found. What I prefer to do is to straighten them out. I like to lay heavy things on them or expose them to some heat if I can as well. And then after I got them flat, I'll store them in a large art portfolio. The biggest downside with this method is the cost of the art portfolio itself. It's a one-time investment, but I think it ran me like 120 bucks. They're not giving these things away. Some last storage solutions that I think are worthy of an honorable mention are plastic stackable totes like this one here. You can find these in a variety of sizes made by a variety of brands. This one, made by Iris, is one that I really enjoy, and I like to use it for storing my rocks, because I think that making scattered terrain rocks when they're just going to be standalone and not part of a hill or something like that is somewhat silly. So what do all you think about these storage solutions for my D&D supplies? I'm hoping to start a conversation, so don't forget to leave your thoughts down below. If you want to see me do more videos like this, including product reviews, hit that thumbs up button and let me know. As always, I want to thank my amazing patrons, especially Michael and Natalie the Murphy Destroyer, for pledging at the shop foreman level. Thank you. And thanks to everyone who's been subscribing. I'm just about to pass the 500 subscriber count, and it's been a real journey. I appreciate all of you. Share this video with a friend, like if you like the video, sub if you want to see more, and until next time, keep all your fantasy fantastic.